any grocery store, you will see an enormous variety of foods from nearly as many companies. What most people don't think about, though, is where it came from and how it got there. Industrial animal agriculture started to gain traction in the 1950s, and today it's the primary source of how we obtain our food. Even though we are now able to feed our continuously growing population, it has come with some side effects, mostly in the environmental sector. Industrial animal agriculture, or factory farming, is responsible for 9% of total US greenhouse gas emissions. It causes water pollution through manure being washed into our waterways, and air pollution through CO2 emissions and chemicals like ammonia being released into the atmosphere. There are plenty of factors that drive this problem to continue, but a major one is our own cultural traditions. It's common practice and normal to purchase factory farm meats and not give a second thought to where it came from and how it affected the environment. We can shift our reliance on factory farm meats by moving towards supporting sustainable, locally produced food. As we move towards better practices, looking at the profits of factory farms is a good indicator to our efforts. With this, we can see a drop in demand for factory farm meats and an increase in more sustainable foods.
The first natural step will be to gain attention and support from communities on all scales through influencers in social media, news sources, and other independent media. Universities, libraries, state and national parks, and sustainable business events and marketing can serve as sources of these promotions and offer people a landmark to invest further. With a foundation of awareness, we can document and broadcast the successes and benefits of as many sustainable transitions and enterprises as possible. By connecting sustainable success stories to journalists, media producers, and freelance influencers, the spread of knowledge and interest can become self-sustaining. Public investment alone will not be sufficient, though. We should also pursue the establishment of industrial production taxes to incentivize against the current norms and direct the finances from taxes towards improving agricultural sustainability. Eventually, with enough support, we could democratically incite regulation restricting the ease and extent of industrial farming methods. To complement the socio-political enterprises, there will need to be investment in technology and an economic paradigm shift. Utilizing the public awareness to crowdfund nonprofits can offer information and support to interested businesses through conventions and other events. These would promote and educate to the value of sustainable agriculture. Grassroots organizations could also support sustainable farms with low-interest loans, education, and legal advocacy to withstand corporate resistance. As a final piece, promotions and media opportunities made possible through the social and political ventures we've already outlined would encourage competition among cities and businesses. These new public-based economic systems will be necessary to develop and protect small, sustainable farms, as explained by John Ickard in his book, Crisis and Opportunity, where he says, the original mission of land-grant universities was to support agriculture with public funds because agriculture was fundamentally different from industry. Now, agribusiness firms are large enough to do their own research and development. There is no longer any justification for using taxpayers' dollars to subsidize industrial agriculture. There are even organizations which can already employ these actions with no additional funding, such as Portland State University School of Business. Programs facilitated here through capstone projects allow business students to connect with companies striving to improve the sustainability of their operations. These strategies together will bring us steadily towards the goal of making sustainable technologies affordable, accessible, and widely available, and increase the demand for these sustainably produced products through the verified success of alternatives.
Currently, America's meat consumption is at an all-time high, with the average American consuming up to 222 pounds of red meat and poultry in 2018 alone. But as consumers, we're living in a time where it's easier than ever to have accessible, affordable meat alternatives. This reality, combined with the strategies that Forrest discussed of increasing social awareness and sustainability increasing technological advancements, we could create easier consumer and economical transitions towards less production and consumption of industrialized meat. In doing so, the United States could realize our vision of a reduction in the consumption of meat, which will consequently lead to a decline in the amount of industrialized animal agricultural farms in operation in the United States today.